Sorry about that. I had my mic unmuted right quick. Welcome to the show. We're on Wednesday again. My cousin says she's been trying hard to get her act together, but it just keeps happening on Wednesday lately. Um, we have 25 questions tonight. I'll get to those in a minute. But first, what I want to do is make a confession. Because, first of all, congratulations to me because it's 1 year post stroke. And I think I've done exceptionally well in my recovery. It took a while to get my speaking voice back, but it's pretty much there. They said you can continue healing though, for up to 2 years or so after, but you make the greatest gains within the first 6 months. So, we did well there. But that's not what I wanted to make the confession about. The confession is, I'm doing this job thing. And they had this online meeting, and I connected the strokes to it because I already had like a bad filter and low talk threshold for nonsense. But since the strokes last year, it's like my filter is just gone and it pops out in the oddest times. So like we're in this meeting, right? And you know how you're supposed to mute your mic unless you're talking? So this lady was sitting there with her mic on and she kept sniffing. Like she was like she, I guess, had a runny nose or something. Well, after about 10 minutes of that, it's like the blackboard fingernails thing started happening. And I just couldn't take it anymore. So the girl who was running, I sent her a note. I'm thinking I'm sending it to her privately, but that wasn't what happened. I'm thinking I'm sending it to her privately to tell her to mute, this lady's mic. Well, it turned out, which I didn't know till later, that the whole room saw this. So I'm like, but you would think, okay, Deb, maybe you should have just stopped there. Oh, no. No. We had to add more to it. So then because I can't stand that snotty sound. Now, like I said, I didn't realize this was in the meeting. I thought I'm being directly to this girl, but it turned out all the people in this meeting saw me type because I can't stand that snotty sound. And I saw people start kind of smirking, kind of smiling and stuff, but it didn't register. All I knew in that moment was if I heard her sniff snot one more time, I was going to lose my mind. So I said it, and then, so she got highly insulted. And after the meeting, she was like, well, you could have just told me that privately. In the future, if I'm doing something, just tell me. And, part of me would have been like apologetic because it was truly, I did say it, but I didn't mean for it to be in the public room like that. So, technically that would have been something to apologize for. But do I ever apologize for anything that I do? No. So I flipped it around and I said, well, I probably could do that, but I'm not going to. You know why? Because you're older than me. And it's not up to me to monitor your behavior in in a forum like that, in an online meeting. That's for you to do. So if you don't want me to talk smack about the way that you act in the meeting, then fix your behavior. I'm not your mother. That's the way I flipped it back on her. So she left my desk looking all kind of sad. And I was just sitting there like, you got me confused with somebody who cares about your feelings, because that's not Deborah. So that's what happened. So I'm confessing my sins. That's how your friend be doing stuff, just all out of control and just putting a smash on people. I know. It was terrible. I had to laugh at myself because I did feel bad for about half a second. Then I thought, wait a minute, who are you? Why would you feel bad? Because, like I said, it was a mistake. I didn't intend for it to be in the full view of everyone, but her snotting was in full view of everyone. So what's the difference? You're sitting up there snorking snot. It's all for in a meeting, and everybody's hear that. So why can't everybody see me tell you to correct your behavior? So that's the way I justified it, and that's how we left it. But yeah, she was heated, and came all to my desk with her little chest all puffed out and stuff. But I sent her away deflated like a balloon. So I don't remember with me anymore. This bitch crazy. You hate that too? I hate that, and people be like talking to people in the background and just rustling papers and doing all kinds of stuff. Just mute your mic. Mute your mic unless you're being spoken. You're asked to speak. Then it takes half a second to click the thing and unmute yourself. You can even do the keys, the talk thing on the keyboard. You don't have to click it with a mouse. So anyway, whatever happened, it was her fault. And so there you go. So let's move on to these 25 questions now that I have detoured myself and confessed my sins. It's not even Sunday. So like I said, 25 questions. Number one, here's question number one. It's a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Never heard of it. Summary of the issue. My now ex is dating the woman he told me not to worry about right after we broke up. How am I supposed to act? Okay, look at all these paragraphs she wrote about this nonsense. We broke up 6 days ago. Technically, I initiated breakup, but he made me do it through his behavior. He claimed to love me, but he neglected me. Everyone around me, including mutual friends, called him cold and told me they did. He was constantly angry with me over the littlest things like forgetting to buy a roll of toilet tissue. He never took me on so much as a walk or for coffee, let alone dinner. Okay, yet you calling that your boyfriend? Sound delusional. Suddenly, he was making friends with this girl in his grad class. I didn't care until he canceled plans with me on St. Patrick's Day. We're both Irish, to see the parade and go for coffee with her. Despite living together, we had barely seen each other that week. I was excited to spend time together. He caught me controlling for not letting him have female friends. I was only upset because he canceled our plans and I had been excited. I finally met both of them in the bar that evening. I began to cry when he told me they were going to the movies together too. Again, my boyfriend walked me home and still went to the cinema as I cried. I never really got over the incident. He made out I was crazy and controlling. He kept trying to hold my hand or touch my arm and is adamant that he wants to be friends and hopes we can reconcile in a few months. Today, he told me that she has liked him since September, and despite her boyfriend moving here in 2 weeks, she wants to see him too. They have an open relationship. He told me he would wait a month or so before hooking up out of, quote, respect for my feelings. I snapped and said, how virtuous of you. I'm dealing with a same here, and kept making cutting remarks. I started laughing because I was right and said I couldn't believe it. He started crying about how he ruined our friendship and that he, quote, loves me more than he likes her. And I said, I hope it's worth blowing up this friendship over a girl you apparently don't like who has a boyfriend. He isn't moving out for 6 more weeks. How am I supposed to behave? You're supposed to act like you don't give a shit. See, this is the thing. You already knew something was up, first of all. Secondly, who has what they call a boyfriend and they never go on a date with him? He never makes any kind of gesture of romantic concern towards you. He never wants to take you out, spend time with you, having a good time. That alone should have told you that the relationship was over. You should have needed him to like pick your back of your head and rub your nose in the doo-doo like a puppy. But you waited till the very end and just let yourself get completely dogged out, where he's actually going on dates with this other woman and still living at the house with you, and you just okay with it, I guess. I don't know. Listen to all this drinking. I didn't know dudes and Irish dudes had that much game. But I guess you learn something new every day. But yeah, girlfriend, all the stuff he's telling you about them having an open relationship and all this stuff here. See, you don't know if any of that's true. You're putting it in the letter because that's what he told you. I understand what you believe him. But I'm telling you this, you don't believe shit he says. From I love you to we'll reconcile in a few months. Your relationship with him is over. It's been over. You are on your own as of whenever he finally moves his stuff out. And then there you go. So that's the end of that. It should have been over a long time when all your friends were telling you he was cold and stuff. You didn't listen. That's not how a man who loves you behaves towards you. You were accepting all kinds of negligent and abusive behavior and still hanging on by your fingernails, calling it a relationship. Poor thing. Question number 2. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group from Auburn, Alabama. Summary of issue. I ended a friendship. Okay, this girl wrote a book. I ended a friendship with a guy I thought was being too clean and pressuring me to hang out. I ended up thinking I reacted too harshly, so I apologized a few months later. We reopened friendship and ended up being friends with benefits briefly, but then I decided I didn't want to hook up again. He got pissed. Now it feels like he's doing the same clingy pressure thing all over again. What do I do? Okay, that alone was the letter, but did she stop there? No, she wrote more. She wrote all kinds of more details that really are irrelevant. I'm going to stop with what's here. Okay, you thought he was being too clingy and pressuring you to hang out. Once a man, okay, if you say no, and he says, he says anything other than okay, after that, he's being controlling and coercive. That means he's not listening to your no, which means he's not respecting you. So everything that you had to say after that is pointless to me. That's why I'm not even going to read it. Because whatever happened after that, you put yourself in that position by not having firm boundaries and not sticking to your no. You let him talk you into getting, being friends and all this whole stuff here. When you already knew that wasn't what you wanted to do. So I'm not understanding how you got in this position to end up being a friends with benefits with somebody that you had already cut off for being coercive and pressuring you. What were you doing? What are you thinking? And you know why dudes do this? I'm going to tell all these girls, you know why they do this? Because on most of you, it works. You have no spine at all. You don't hold, when you say no, I want to, or I don't think so, or whatever it is, you never stick to it. That's why guys don't want to pay attention to you when you say no, because you just fold after they pressure you for 5 minutes. Okay, then, or you want to compromise or something. Once you tell a man no, stick to it until you die. If you don't mean no, then don't say no. Say, I'll think about it, or maybe. Okay. But once the word leave your mouth, no, you're not supposed to ever give him what he wants after that. You're supposed to go to your grave with that no still in the full effect. Why do I keep coughing? I think because of all this rain we've been having. And then like right now sunny again, it's making all these weeds grow. And my little throat has been catching hell from all the pollen and stuff. It's like, ugh. So hold on, this cough drop. Yeah, I would let him have him. But once a man, if I tell a man no and I don't want to do that, and they keep pushing me, the next thing they get is cuss the fuck out. And he'll never get what he wants, not out of me. You better go get it somewhere else. But if I say no, you can bet. You can die. It's still gonna be no. I could die. It's still gonna be no. I never change my mind once I say no. You ladies need to get a bit of that, because it makes you, if you just fold and bend like that, it makes guys just think you're stupid and you're weak. And what people do if you're weak is they want to conquer you, and they will do that, and then you'll be the victim because you ain't spine and you don't mean no when you say it. That's the worst thing you can do to yourself. So yeah, she did 2, 3, almost 3 pages of stuff. But she explored all her feelings. I don't want to explore your feelings. I just want you to understand, if you say no to somebody, stick to it. Question number 3. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's African American from Dearborn Heights, Michigan. Summary of issue: how should I respond to my friend's odd/toxic relationship where I do not wish to hang out with her partner, who assumed I should invite him out with my boyfriend? God. I'm gonna limit the text, the characters in that field. As soon as this show is over. I have a close friend, we're both 26, who never dated before and was super insecure about being single. So she started dating a mutual friend of ours. He's 27, because he, quote, acted right. And she strung him along for over a year, where she went and other people too. During that year, she could not decide if she liked him, but then decided to, quote, test the waters under her condition with him. She said that she was okay with him because she hasn't been treated respectfully before. That's great and all for her, but she also spends lots of times telling me how she's not really that attracted to him, or their physical chemistry does not agree with lifestyle beliefs and future. She's told me many times that she plans on finishing her PhD in 4 years and moving away. But he confessed his love to her after just 2 weeks of dating, and is always initiating hangouts, but expects her to be his social lifeline, assuming she's going to connect him with all of her friends. I don't honor the way she's acting and her boyfriend's certain views on women and politics. I really do not agree with. And he does not know how to run his mouth all the time, fact checking, arguing, and debating. I feel sorry for her, but realize I just don't like being around this guy. My boyfriend also does not like him, as they met through other mutual friends and never publicly shared it. Not around him due to his narrow-minded view on the world. I only hang out with her alone or us together girls, and it's been okay. But her boyfriend has mentioned to her that he is shocked that I do not bring him and her and my boyfriend together. Her boyfriend has no friends, even though we all grew up in this area, and has just fallen out of touch with everyone in his life. I think it's the way he lacks communication skills, but he also assumes that it's his girlfriend's job. I asked why I didn't go out to dinner and drinks, ask us to go out to dinner and drinks. It's never been brought up. And she told me that told her boyfriend it's because my boyfriend doesn't vibe with, and asked me to get dinner and drinks, which he never did. I don't want to be misconstrued to where it seems like we avoid him to be jerks, because that's not the case. I'm sure if they offered or tried to meet us in the middle, we could do occasional double date dinner. Or is it better to not interact as I don't respect the relationship? It's better to mind your business and stay away from them. Why would you want to force yourself into a social situation with a dude that you can't stand and your boyfriend can't stand him either? What would be the point of all of that? If you get together with another couple, it's supposed to be a good time is had by all, not a situation where you're struggling and you can't respect the person and you think he's a fool. Just to please your girlfriend, she don't sound like she's too bothered because she don't even really like the dude anyway. So what's the problem here? What are you wasting my time with this for? You must not have any problems for real. You just looking for some shit to write in about because you want your letter or something. I don't know what you're doing. Let's move on. Question number 4. This is a female in the 43 to 45. Wait, no, that's not right, Candace. Anyway, 43 to I think it's 49 age group. She's Caucasian from Youngstown, Ohio. Summary of issue: how do I handle my toxic mother who's always putting down at family gatherings? My mom is always taking jabs at me, and it has really affected my self-esteem during my lifetime. She does it while, quote, joking. Oh, the narc gang. I'm just trying to get some perspective because nobody in my family ever challenges her. At dinner this weekend, she was gushing about how smart my son is. He is 13. She prides herself as being highly intelligent, then announced that he got it from my husband. I called her out on it in a gentle way. And she responds by laughing and saying, of course my husband is smarter than me. Then asked my 13-year-old son, who did he get his intelligence from, his mom or his dad? He's like, what the hell? And just changed the subject. Obviously just so mad and tired of her poison. Nobody ever says anything to her, and she's constantly putting me down. The other thing she does that bothers me is constantly referring to her, quote, private texting thread with my sisters that I'm not a part of. She likes to make me feel left out. I never take the bait. She's 81, but God, I just don't understand why she's so horrible to me. Well, why are you not horrible back? That's the big question here. She's up there talking about how highly intelligent she is and say, well, how many degrees did you have and how many Nobel Peace Prize did you win? How many books have you written? How many TED Talks have you done? Don't sound like you too intelligent to me. All you've ever done is in the name of the stuff that she did and say that's nothing. And like 9 bazillion other people have done the exact same thing and even better than you. So I don't understand what you got your chest all puffed out for. Plus you old. You old and you wrinkly. And whatever good times you used to have, they've been over. Just go for the jugular. I don't, you know what? You just let somebody just assault you verbally and emotionally like that and you don't fire back. I would read her the right act and wouldn't give a damn that it was my mother. It's like, you not treat me like your daughter, so all bets are off. I'm going to teach you like a bitch in the street because that's how you want to act. And she talking about it. This is like no emotional intelligence, because if you did, you would have enough sense to know that you don't involve a child in your little stupid games. You do that to my son again, I'm going to knock the shit out of you. That's what I would have told her. Well, that's abuse of an elder. I don't give a fuck. It's abuse to a child. You think I'm not going to protect my child from you? You wicked witch. You know, how you going to involve a 13-year-old kid in there and try to get him to turn against his mother? She would have had to hear about that. I'm sorry. And she would have got cussed out. And, you know, definitely told she was old, fat, stupid, all kind of stuff. Then, this about the texting thread, it's like nobody want to talk to you 3 bitches anyway. So, I mean, you trying to act like that's something that's going to get in my goat. I'm glad it gives me more time to do stuff that's sensible rather than sit there and talk to three idiots, wasting my time and energy and the charge on myself, my cell phone texting minutes. I would have to say something, but there's no way I would just walk away and just let her get away with that. So with this thing you have, you know, you're trying to be nice because it's your mother, you better lose that and fire back. Especially the thing about now, even if you don't get mad about stuff about yourself, her trying to hurt my kid like that or get my kid on her team to be one of her flying monkeys against me, I would have had to light her up for that. Like I said, if I didn't get her for anything else, she definitely would have got chewed out for that. Now she's involving my child, a minor child, in her shenanigans. Nope, she would have come every kind of old, ugly, fat bitch I could have thought of. And I can be creative. So, you know, you better think about this and not let your kid be alone with her anymore. That she's showing you how that she has no filter and no barriers when it comes to your child. Protect your kid and keep your kid away from her. Question number 5. This is a female in the 28-34 age group from Skokie. Is that how you pronounce that? Skokie, Illinois. Summary of issue. I got into a wreck and I totaled my car because of him. I've been dating this guy since 2017. I'm 30, he's 32. His birthday was 2 months ago, and it just so happened that I barely got to give him anything since we had just moved in for the first time and I had to pay rent, the deposits, and many things, so I could only give him some exclusive figures from the movie Halloween 3. He wanted them. So now, Deb, it's my birthday in a few days, and I told him if we could go to the store because I would like to buy a figure for my birthday too. Every time we go somewhere, I have to tell him days in advance because he's always asleep. He refuses to find a job, so he is sleeping all day till 5 or even later. Okay, you dating the Dusty in Skokie, Illinois. That's what you do. That day, I told him we could please do something together and try to find something for my birthday since it was in 4 days. He said yes, so I waited 2 hours for him to wake up. When he got in the car, everything was normal. So we went to the store. I saw the figure. When I was at the checkout to buy it, he started yelling at me and telling me, "You ruined my birthday and you didn't want to buy me anything. So why would I have to buy you something?" Wow. I was going to pay for the figure, but he was still doing a show and yelling inside the store for 15 minutes, which I told him, you know what? I don't want the figure. I don't deserve the figure because I ruined your birthday. So I'm going back home. He started screaming and running in the street like if somebody was chasing him. I don't understand what he was doing, so I just remained silent. You stupid. Okay, you just dumb. I went inside the car and then he started screaming at me and cussing at me and wishing me to be DEAD and said to him, I have to drive and I can't with you doing this and screaming in my ear. He didn't care. He wanted to fight while I'm driving and I didn't make eye contact or said to him, I understood. He kept insulting me for hours. He kept screaming and saying that I am the C word and that I should be unalived. And between those, I missed a red light and my brand new Tesla was gone. The car did 3 flips, no airbags, nobody got hurt. I was okay, and my dog got yeeted from my car. She was okay, but as soon as I opened the door, I saw the status of my car. Girl, you should know if your car turned over, it was pretty much a wrap. I was mentally broken. I was shaking and crying. When he opened the door, he told me, this is your fault. You did this to your car, not me. I don't have a driver's license. You're a psycho. So I said to him to get out of my life. He left the scene, leaving me alone with the wrecked car and no money. He took my keys, and guess what? He went to a bar to get drunk while I was dealing with the cops and ambulance and towing my car. I had to get an Uber and call my landlord and drop a key for my house because the dude had my keys and he's not answering the phone or even the police calls. The car is totaled. The car was a dream for me, and I worked so hard to be able to pay the loan every single month. Anyway, I just don't know what to do with this guy. He keeps blaming me, saying it's my fault and that he doesn't have a driver's license, so he's trying to cover his butt with that excuse. What should I do? I am mentally broken and I don't have anyone to talk to. Get yourself to the nearest mental health clinic thing. Hop on that couch and don't get up until you find some sense. Why would you let somebody stand around and yell at you for hours? Why would you let somebody who just denigrated you in a store get back in your car and go anywhere with you? What were you thinking? Why would you want to call a man like this your boyfriend? Why would you stay with a man, involved with a man who sleeps until 5 o'clock and doesn't want to look for a job? There's so much wrong with your decision-making process that it's just mind-boggling to me why you would even have wasted time with this individual loser, nothing piece of dusty shit. He's nothing. He's garbage. He's trash. And yet, here you are, wasting years. What did you say? Didn't you say 3 years? I just want to make sure I don't want to lie on you. 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 7 years. And you're 30 years old, and he's 32, and he's still not having a job and not doing anything useful with his life. Get rid of this fool. Get rid of him. Whatever stuff he has in your house, pack it up, put it on the other side of the door, and tell him to come get it. Change the locks. He's not paying no rent, so then he doesn't really live there. Okay, he was just a visitor. I don't know what to say. Hopefully, you have good insurance on the Tesla. Hopefully, you got gap insurance, so whatever there's between the loan and what the car was, the value of the car and what you still owed on the loan will be covered by gap insurance. Hopefully. Otherwise, you're going to be still paying a note on a car that you can't even drive and don't even have no more. I learned that lesson once. So every time after that I got a car, I got gap insurance. Only had to use it twice, but still. One time a car, I only had the car for a year and it got stolen. So I owed a whole bunch of money still on it. And so they covered that and, gave me some money and I went and bought another car. So I highly recommend gap insurance, even though it's expensive. It's not as expensive as being out of pocket for all the money that you already put into the car, plus the money you're going to still have to pay on the car that you can't even drive. Plus you have to go and get another car. So then you're going to be making 2 notes, or you're going to be making a note on the car you can't drive and driving a bucket because you need a vehicle. It's not a smart decision to not have gap insurance. Let's move on to question number 6. This is a female in the 28 to 32 age group. She's from Orange County, California. The male in question is 35 to 42. Summary of issue. My boyfriend hates it when I wear dresses or shorts. Let me start off by saying I'm a pretty confident person, which hasn't always been the case because I've always been a bigger girl. My boyfriend hates when I wear dresses. He always tells me he doesn't like it because I look too formal, even in just a summer dress, and it makes him look dressed down. Well, come to find out, that wasn't the real reason. He told me today that some girls just aren't meant to wear dresses. He's made negative comments about my legs before, so I'm assuming that's why. And yet you stayed with him? I feel like I'm back in high school, hating my body and all that trauma has resurfaced. I may be overreaching, but I just wanted to send this in to you so I could get your and the other ladies' opinions about the situation. What you should do is put your legs in motion away from this clown. You young girls, I just don't understand why you stay with men that treat you so bad and talk to you like you have a tail. What kind of boyfriend would talk to his girlfriend like that? I don't take any kind of criticism from a man. I don't want your opinion. I don't give a fuck what you think, what you like, what you don't like. None of that matters in my world, because in my world, everything is me. Everything's about me. Everything to my liking. Everything about me is wonderful. Even when I do stuff like I in the thing, I still flipped it around. So I felt fine about what I did. I don't know how other people feel about what I did, but you know what? Do I care? I'm over here laughing about it with you. And if things went down that way, I would turn around and do the exact same thing. So that's why I know I'm not sorry. I don't have any, there's no regrets there. Well, you can just see when you have a situation where his behavior is starting to affect you and is causing trauma to resurface. It's a very clear signal that the end of this relationship it needs to be over. Okay, because now it's starting to affect you mentally and emotionally, and not in a good way. So he's got to go. Okay, please understand. And this is like a life or death situation. You're choosing either to be with him or you choosing yourself. There's no middle ground here. You're choosing yourself and your mental health and your joy. Are you choosing to be with somebody who's to destroy you and make you feel bad about yourself? Which one are you going to choose? For me, that's a no-brainer, because as soon as he says something negative about my legs, I would have to fire back and say, well, let's talk about your dick. Let's talk about that. Since we're on the subject to talk about shit with somebody that we don't really like that much, let's just do that. Let's explore all these avenues. Let's talk about your wallet, because that's really coming up short. Your spine, your dick, your wallet, all that. Just, not up to par. But, you want to talk about my legs, go ahead. Get it all out. And then as soon as he finished, I would say, now get your shit and get the fuck out. Don't ever come back. Take your raggedy dick with you when you go. There's no dude talk about me like that. I just don't even understand where they do that at. I guess over here where you live. Where you live at? Oh, you in Southern California. Yeah. All the nut jobs live in Southern California. Everybody got a business card. Everybody actor, a producer, a rapper. Question number 7. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's African-American from Pennsylvania somewhere. So I have an issue. How do you deal with disrespectful people at work? Hi, Ms. Deb. I watched the live you did on occasion and concluded that I'm mostly passive. I have Asperger's syndrome, and at times I'm not really aware that I'm breaking social rules. I've only worked part-time jobs in retail, but I'm worried about working in a corporate environment because of this issue. One of the problems I've experienced at work is a coworker would talk me out loud to others while I'm close by. They don't mention my name, but will indirectly talk about me. For example, I've heard a coworker telling a story about a lady she met. Oh, these sound like mean girls, bullies. Hold on. In this TS paper. And the lady she met, she said out loud that she told the lady, quote, "You can't be mean and ugly," while looking at my direction. I honestly didn't think she was talking about me because she didn't mention my name. It wasn't until she called me later and told me that she thought I was rude to her that her story made sense. I'm confused why people do it. Do they want me to confront them? Sometimes I'm not sure if they're talking about me, so I don't want to seem defensive and nosy. And if they're being disrespectful, is it worth addressing it? And how would you address it in a professional manner without being aggressive? I really appreciate your talent because it helps me improve my social skills without compromising my well-being. Well, since you have Asperger's, we have to respond a little bit differently, because I don't care about not being aggressive. I used to, probably when I was young, I probably, that used to cross my mind. But then again, I was in the office at 19 punching men in the face. So maybe I just never cared. I just really don't know what to say about that. But I mean, she said, you can't be mean and ugly. And I would have had to say, well, could you? And I'd see where that's not true. Since you want to talk out loud to people, just flip it back on them. What you going to say? Well, I wasn't talking about you. Oh, well, it sure sounded like you did. So I just want to remind you that, the mirrors reflect. So whatever you say to me, I'm going to just shine that light back on you. And then for her to come and say that she thought I was rude, you were rude to her, you're supposed to ask, which you can, and this is not mean, to say, well, when did that happen? Describe the situation to me so that I understand your perspective. That's very professional, and it gives room to change. So if what she's saying is true, then you can explain yourself. No, I wasn't being rude. I just didn't understand what you were talking about, that you were addressing me. Right? You can say that. But when somebody approaches you with something like that and makes an accusation towards you, always ask for clarification. Always ask for clarification. If it's something that you don't feel comfortable handling on your own, say, well, I would love to talk to you about this. Let's set up a meeting with our supervisor, and they can act as the intermediary, and we can iron this out and see how quick they back down. Because they don't want that smoke. That's why, they come in with that silly bitch shit, wasting the supervisor's time. Well, she was looking at me, and I just didn't think she was being rude because the way she looked at me. You know how stupid they would look? How much respect they would lose. So you remember that line, listen to this over again. And like I said, anytime that you don't get it and someone lies, hits you with an accusation, you say, I'd love to work that out with you. Let's set up a meeting with the supervisor so the supervisor can, act as an intermediary. I want to make sure I'm understanding your perspective. Okay? Do that. And every time they say something to you, something that sounds, like an accusation, like they're blaming you for something, they're charging you with a crime or something, say that. And let's see what happens. Write me back and let me know. Because I'm thinking, yeah, the supervisor, and after it was over, the supervisor would say, let's say her name is Tonya. Tonya, can you stay here for a minute? We need to, I want to talk to you. And then read Tonya the riot act about that, especially if your supervisor knows that you're on the spectrum or you have Asperger's, whatever. They're going to be a little more protective of you. And if you haven't let them know, you might want to and explain, sometimes I don't understand things, things, social cues. I'm learning, I'm doing a lot better, but I might not, catch everything. So if you see something that you think I should know, please alert me to it. And I'll try to do my best to learn, this thing. I want to fit in. I want to do a good job. Of course, I want people to like me. I want to have a good time with my coworkers and interact well with them, but I might need a little extra help. And just say that. Nothing wrong with that. If I had an employee that came to me and told me something like that, man, I would do everything I could to have a conversation with them at least once a week, just to check in with them and see if they had any situations that they need some guidance on. Well, this happened and they said this and that, and I didn't really understand why they said. Then I would tell them, because as a supervisor, your job, manager, is to bring out the talents and skills that your employee has, to develop them to be the best employee that they can be, the best person, whatever support that you can lend your employee. Sometimes it extends outside of work. Maybe somebody died. You never know what's going on in people's lives. Sometimes they just want to feel like there's some kindness coming their way. And as a manager, especially if you work with this person with them for years, they might be open to that. So I always looked at it that way. It's not my job to regulate on you. You are a full-fledged adult. My job here is to A, get all the work done, and B, to make sure my employees make me look good while they're doing it. In turn, I have to make them look good by letting them shine. And that's how I was managed. But, that's it. That's how we do things. So let's move on. This is a dress, and this thing is just driving me crazy. I don't know. I got it. It was too big, I think. Question number 8. She says she's female, 22 to 27. She's Caucasian, Ottawa, Canada. And her summary of issue is, how do I continue being a kind person but not be spineless or naive? I don't have trouble being kind to people, but I do have a problem when some people mistake my kindness as a pass to take advantage of me. I'm tired of feeling naive when this happens. I want to be able to respond effectively. Any advice for me? This may seem like a simple question, but there are hundreds of videos on this channel that will answer this question for you. I'm not going to give you the answer. You're going to have to ferret it out yourself by listening to the videos. Start looking for things about the self-esteem series, the February 2020. We talked about self-esteem. So there's like 25 videos about it there. You can look at the one called Nice Needs to Die. You can look at it that way and look for all the videos on setting and maintaining boundaries. After you go through all of those, I think you'll have all the answers to these questions plus many more. Okay, but I'm not going to answer that for you. I want you to do the work yourself, because I've already said what I have to say on this topic like 60 times. So I don't want to say it again. Question number 9. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's Latina from Dallas, Texas. The male in question is in the 20 to 27 age group. Summary of issue. My abusive ex lives in the same apartment complex as me and is driving me crazy. You about this. I thought I fell in love with a man, but he was crazy. We broke up a little over a week ago, and after a few days, I was able to see that the 6-month relationship we had, see it for what it was. He was extremely codependent and an alcoholic. He would start fights just to mess with my head and was a MGTOW, but then would say the misogynistic things he was saying was just a joke. And yet you stayed. But the worst part is that over the past month, the abuse became, eggplanty and physical. He started hitting me during eggplant. He hit me so hard in the ear that I could hear ringing for a while. The first time, you mean you stayed around for the second? The first time I thought it was an accident because he was drunk. That's no excuse. The second time he did the same thing. I confronted him about it a few days ago, and he said it wasn't really abuse because he could have hit me harder if he wanted. There were some other nook type abuses prior to that, which he first gaslighted me about, but now admits that he did that to punish me for something. And yet you stayed. Deb, I am terrified. I'm scared for you because, girl, don't take this the wrong way, but you hella stupid. The first time somebody does something to you that's abusive, you should leave them. There just should have never been 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 17th time. The first time, that's all they get, one. And yet you stayed. The worst part is this all happened after he moved into the same apartment complex as me. His lease ended last month, and I suggested he move near me because it's the best deal in the city. I don't have family nearby, and I'm not very close with my friends here. I'm originally from out of state. He owns a gun, and it cost me thousands in taxes to change my out-of-state license to a Texas one because I waited too long and I don't want to buy one legally. She must be talking about a gun. My dog was my main issue of safety, but she loves my ex and wouldn't feel protected if he broke in. I work hybrid, and I'm very scared about the entire situation. I changed my locks, but I still see his balcony, and sometimes I see him on it when I walk my dog. There's no way to avoid it. The entire situation makes me sick to my stomach, and he has a history of crossing boundaries. I'm afraid he'll get drunk and come after me. I'm kind of terrified. I have been thinking of moving out of state. When I confronted him, he said he would try to move in the next few months for my sake, but I don't believe a word he says. My lease ends in September, and I've been terrible about savings. What do you suggest I do? I have no proof of the abuse, and I don't want to bother taking legal action. I just want to get away from him. You're going to get a second job. You're going to wait tables, set up an OnlyFans. You're going to do something, so you're going to make some money. So when September comes, if not before, you can move out of there. Go to parts unknown. And if it was me, I would get rid of that dog, and I would get me a pit bull or something that's never seen him before. Preferably one that's in the pound that they say, oh, he hates men. Oh, yeah, I want that one. And then I would show him dude's picture and let him sniff some of dude's clothes that was still in my house. What's wrong with my internet? It keeps going out. That's what I mean. Whatever. I mean, you can still keep your dog. But I would definitely get me a different dog that doesn't know him, so that this thing with the dog want to run up to him wagging his tail and stuff, then that wouldn't happen because the new dog would be like, who is you? I'm fixing to bite you if you don't get out of here. Yeah, that's what you're going to do. You need some money to move. You can get your money back from this place, but that's not going to help you as far as the moving goes. You need the money. You need the money up front. So start looking at what you can do to make some money, and that's what you're going to do. Working your one load, that ain't enough. You need to work on the weekends. You need to work in the evening, 4 hours or something. You need to do something so that you can bring in more income so you can start banking it and get yourself up out of this situation. The number 2 thing is In the future, if you have a man who mistreats you in any way, the very first time he does it, you end the relationship immediately. There's 50 bazillion million trillion men on this planet. You don't have to sit there and stay with one that's abusing you. You have lost your mind for real to sit up there and take this kind of shit and think that this was a relationship. He was abusing you and escalating because you let him do it, because you stuck around. The third thing is why you wanted him to have save money and move into your apartment complex was another stupid thing that you did. You don't never live near anybody that you dating. Never. You don't work with them and you don't let them live near you either. I had a dude I lived in Oakland. This dude lived across the street and he had a little daughter. He was a single dad. He had a little daughter that my daughter played on time. And I babysat her for him a couple of times. You know, he paid me and everything was fine. But then he started wanting to try to date me. And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, why not we get along? I said, we get along as the parents of two little girls that play together. But I don't date anybody who I can look out my window and see their window. We're not going to do that. But it's convenient. I said, maybe for you, but I don't want to live by anybody that I'm dating. So no, thank you. That's geographically undesirable. Just like a long distance relationship. Yeah, like I said, Jazz, you could keep the little dog, but the other, you need a different dog that don't know him. So the dog that don't know him could teach the other one how you're supposed to protect your owner and not be wagging your tail at every food just because you're familiar with them. This is terrible. And you know, the thing is, like, you feeling all good about him saying he's going to move. Like what? Like you don't have a car and can't still come over there? What difference does it make if he moves? The one who needs to move away is you. So he don't know where you are. You're going to get a new job and you're going to move. That's what you're going to do. So you're going from here on out, you're going to work too. You're going to be working like a Jamaican. Oh, I got 42 job money. That's what you need to do. So you can get your money together and get out of there. It's expensive to move interstate. I know because I did it. How many years ago was that? Still spent a grip. So it's probably 3 times that much now. Question number 10. This is a female in the 27 age group. She's Black, a Virgo from Fort Mill. The male in question is the same age group, 22 to 27. He's a Gemini, and he's mixed with Hispanic and white. And she says, summary of issue, is it love bombing or is it real? Hi, Miss Deb. I have a question regarding someone I've been seeing for 2 weeks. So far, everything has been paper. He says how much he is into me, uses a lot of pet names and promises me all of these wonderful things. Oh boy, here we go. For example, he said that he would do anything to make me happy. He can't wait to know everything about me, etc. He has already told his mom about me. So he says, I am just worried because I've known this guy for 2 weeks. I think we've been dating for 2 years. I feel that the relationship is moving far too fast. I also wonder if this is a love bombing situation. He is basically a yes man. My parents think I'm overthinking it and really need to like him. What do you think is going on? I think we have the love bombing thing too. The main thing though is you have all the power. You slow this down and see how he responds. Usually if they're the love bombing kind, when you put the brakes on, they lose interest because their game's not going to work. So it's going to require patience in the long game, and they don't have it. In order for them to accomplish their goal and run their game, they need the woman to be naive, to be the, head spinning around in the clouds, romantic dreamer. So they look for that type of woman. And so those are the women that fall prey to this kind of stuff. If you have your stuff together and you asking the right questions and you ain't falling for his rap and his games, they lose interest real quick because they can't run their script. You're making them have to create a new script, and they don't like that. So what you have to do, he's talking about, he's promising all these things and all this stuff. So you know what? Don't promise me anything. I barely know you. I don't even know your middle name yet. And you up here making all these romantic promises. When you do all this kind of stuff, when I haven't known you before a week or two, it doesn't sound authentic to me. It sounds like game. Just tell him. It sounds like you running some, it's some rap and you're running some game. Even if you do really mean it, you need to take into consideration the fact that how it sounds to me, and then adjust yourself accordingly. Just put him on notice. Let's see what he does. Because like I said, if he's sincere, then he will still be around and he'll be, he'll realize that he was pushing things and he'll slow down to match your pace. If he's love bombing you, pretty soon he'll fall off, and then within a month you won't even know, you won't even see him anymore because he'll be on to the next victim. So this is all on you. You got the strings here. You can control this. But just tell him and see how he handles it. That's the main thing. Question number 11. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's Caucasian from London, England. Summary of issue. My husband does those long monologues, and I can't always listen to that. We're in our early 30s, 2.5 years together, married for a year. So my husband started this self-improvement journey about a year ago. He works out a lot more. He goes on runs. He does interval fasting and also read books to improve his mindset. I really love that he seems more comfortable in his own skin and how proud he is with his accomplishments. I'm proud of him too. But here's the thing. He absolutely loves sharing what he learns and his new strategies with me in long, complicated monologues into space, not looking at me, not engaging me in any way, just talking. No questions, no invitation for me to join the conversation. I have two problems with this. After years and years of trying different diets and being unhappy in my body, counting calories, etc., I finally arrived at a place where I feel okay doing yoga, eating intuitively, and accepting myself the way that I am. Listening to all his exercise and dieting talk started making me feel very insecure again and self-doubting and fat, which I'm not. So I asked him to limit the exercise talk because it's making me feel bad. Of course, he can still share his excitement enthusiastically. Celebrate him for it. Also, I'm pregnant in my first trimester, and especially the mornings and evening has been very challenging because I feel so nauseous and insanely tired. So I've asked him to tell me those things at other times during the day, but the early morning or nights. Yesterday, when I was lying in bed an hour before we usually go to sleep, he asked if he could tell me something emotional. So I said yes, expecting a conversation about us or love or something. He goes on this long monologue about a book on psychology he just read and eventually realized that I wasn't paying attention anymore. I said I was expecting something very different and that I'm tired. He said it was really hard for him with, quote, all my expectations because I limit the time he can monologue to me and also the topic. I feel like I'm setting healthy boundaries, which I've had problems with in the past, and I feel like he could be a little more considerate, especially with my issues. So how can we find some common ground here? You don't find common ground. You tell him to shut the fuck up. You far too polite. Let me tell you how this would go if this was my husband. He's going to be branding on things like holding me hostage with his words. I'm not listening to this, and I would tell him that. It's like, okay, listen here, little professor. I don't know who you think you lecturing to, but I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear it. If you want to talk so much, get you a tape recorder and talk into that. And then you can play it back and you can hear your wonderful voice. That's what you can do. But as far as me, if you have a conversation with me, there's input from me and questions and back and forth between two people, but you just want to pontificate, that's not a conversation and it's enough shit I don't want to waste my time on. So I'm telling you right now, this ends here. Any patience I had while I was listening to all this stuff that you was talking is over. You done used up all your allotment. So we're not going to do this anymore. If you want to do that, you better get you a YouTube channel and talk on that, or you do blog talk radio, something. You better do something, make you a podcast, do something where somebody might want to hear what you're talking about because that person don't live here. That's what I would tell him. And then that would be that. And he'd be sitting there with his Pikachu face like, I can't believe you said that to me. It's like, oh, I held it in as long as I could. I'm tired. You're boring. Does nobody want to hear this shit? You just going on and on, droning on and on. It's like, oh my God, I hear another word from you. I'm just going to throw up. I mean, these women just be taking so much. Oh, I can't even imagine that I would sit there and listen to somebody like that. Not just one time, but like over and over, multiple times a day, multiple times a week. Like, looking like over a year, because you said he started the journey over a year ago. You've been dealing with this for that long? Girl, I wouldn't have lasted a week. I'm telling you, I already know me. I've been like, yeah. I'd have been like, oh, motherfucker, shut up. Nobody want to hear this. Who you think want to hear this? It's not even interesting, and you're not cute either. I mean, I tolerate you because I guess I love you or something, but all this talking you doing is making me fall out of love. Because I don't like to hear that men talk that much. And this is for real. Men should sit, if you don't have nothing intelligent to say, like my grandfather was a perfect example of manhood. I still remember pretty much everything that man ever said because he didn't talk a lot. So when he would say something, everybody would be like, hanging on to it because we wanted to hear grandfather was talking. Oh my God. So I still remember pretty much everything that he said. He was a man of few words. He was a man of action. Why can't these modern men be like that? They talk more than women. They're so emotional, just like going on and on. And even when they make comments online, they want to write a whole goddamn novel and they think somebody's going to read all that shit. I'm telling you, I have AD. I have the first sentence and the last, and everything else in between is just relevant as far as I'm concerned. How you start and how you end, that's all I care about. Everything in between, you just words. And these modern dudes, that's how they do. They have all these feelings and they just want to tell you all their little measly Mickey Mouse thoughts and experiences that don't amount to shit and just all this stuff. And it's like, nobody cares. They don't seem to understand that women don't give a shit about all the stuff you all be talking about. You're boring. Okay. You don't have nothing that nobody wants to hear. It's just some stuff. I mean, the women sit there and listen politely and stuff, but I don't have that gene. I don't want to be listening. I don't my nerves got on like that. I just want you to shut up. And if you want to keep talking, like I said, get you a YouTube channel. Something podcast. That's what you need to do. And sometimes people will tune in and they might really be into that subject that he's talking about. You know what I mean? His diet, exercise, all stuff. There's probably people that would like to live. But just remind him that person don't live here. So don't get it twisted. I'm trying to tell you, this is just too much. This guy is just too much. Yes, men, they used to be what they call the strong type, silent type. Not anymore. These dudes are so fucking emotional. They just have more emotions than than any woman and a toddler combined. They're just like just emotional all over the place. And it's just so unsexy. It's just not attractive at all. To me, it makes them look weak. And so, they always emoting. Oh, my feels. I feel this, I feel that. I'm like, oh, God damn it, shut up. Stop talking. Just don't say nothing. You'll be more attractive to women if you just shut up. Girl, I know they don't get it. They be sitting there just running off at the mouth like they got diarrhea. Just all kind of words that don't nobody give a shit. Question number 12. Now that I finished my rant, I feel like purged. Female, 28 to 34. She's European/white from Stoke-on-Kent in the UK. Some issues. Should I give up or hope he changes? So I've been in a relationship with my friend for 3 years. We have a 1-year-old together, and I have 2 older children of my own. We live with his parents and support them. I pay half the bills, and he pays half. I need advice on how long I should wait to start getting my own home. He keeps saying we will get a house, but I don't think he wants to leave his parents. He treats my kids good and he's a great dad. However, I don't feel like he's really into me. It feels like he's just with me because of the baby. He never wants to be alone with me. He has his parents go on every vacation with us. If I tell him I want a couples trip together, just a date night, I don't care what he gives me excuses, but he talks about wanting to take his dad fishing. The first 2 years of our relationship and during my pregnancy, he was talking to his ex. And when I confronted him, he blamed me for seeing in the social media. And I knew I did it, so he talked to her. Anyways, the past year, he said he would change, and I did see improvement, so I decided to forgive him. Now, though, I don't see improvement in affection. We are always together. He doesn't go out, and he helps me with the kids, but I try to communicate, but it goes nowhere. The other day, marriage came up. He brought it up, say that he doesn't believe in marriage because the government messed over the men when you get divorced. So, of course, I always wanted to get married, but he obviously does not want to, nor does it seem he's more concerned about his parents, which aren't disabled. They have retirement, but have me and him take care of them. Should I wait another year and see if we can get a place? He says we can't get a place because we have to save more money, but he's paying for his parents' food, clothes, bills, vacation, and everything. He don't even tell me he loves me, just calls me honey, and even then he'll just text me. You are the most stupidest broad I've ever seen. He is pimping you. He got you in that house paying half the bills to help and support him and his raggedy parents. Girl, you dumb. You in the UK, I don't know how much money you make. Obviously, you probably make too much to get council housing. But you need to figure out, so go save enough money on the side somewhere so you can get you a place, move the fuck up out of there with your kids. If he wants to keep the baby that the two of you had together, let him keep the baby. And you take your two kids and you leave. And now we got to go back, circle back to you. You was with somebody for 3 years and you weren't married, and yet you had another kid with this fool who don't even want to be married. Why did you do that? You could have just escaped this shit with the 2 kids you came there with, but oh no, now you got 3. And you got a permanent tie to this idiot and his bum parents that's just living off of you and pimping you. I just cannot believe that anybody would be this stupid. What is it that you was dreaming that was going to happen here? While he's just knee deep up in your wallet like that. Paying for just you and your 2 kids would be cheaper than paying half with him, or you supporting 3 other adults. I don't understand what people be thinking. There's no way in this world that he got her, the pregnancy happened because it was a way for him to keep his cooks in you and keep you there paying, helping him support his parents. So all their retirement money just stays in their account, getting interest while you support them. You don't even understand the game that's being run on you while you sitting there just being holding out thinking that somebody want to marry you when the man straight told you to your face it's not going to happen. Pack your shit and get the fuck up out of there. Rent you a house. If you have to rent one that's furnished already, to do that. But you get out of there as soon as you can and don't look back. And then in the future, don't you ever do any stupid shit like this again. If you're not married, you don't have a baby. That's it and that's all. You want to be a wife, so you wait to be a wife before you start doing wifely things. Like paying bills for his parents and having babies. That's wife shit, but even as a wife, I wouldn't do that. I mean, I had the baby, but like pay for his parents. Pay for his parents to do something. You better make that happen yourself, and you better not take none of the money that would be half of mine to do it. So you better get a second job or something. I don't know what to tell you. Sell ass, something. Better do something. And you up there waiting for him to change. Men don't change. Girl, where have you been living? Oh my God, under a rock? I can't believe you have 3 kids and you this dumb. This is just shocking to me. I feel sorry for your daughters. You better wind up and teach your girls something so they don't get caught up in this stupid trick bag like you got caught. This is fucking embarrassing that you're somebody's mother. Question number 13. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from Gastonia, North Carolina. Summary of issue: am I overreacting? 19, I work as a server at a breakfast/brunch place. A couple of weeks ago, we had a guy who's maybe in his late 30s, I guess, transferred to our location from a different location. At first, he was just super friendly and helpful and doing all the side work, and definitely seems like a guy who enjoys his job. This guy has 2 kids who are like 12 and 9 or something, and is separated from his wife. I'm one of those people who legitimately gets along with everyone and likes to get to know my co-workers because we're a tight-knit group and a great team. So I started to get to know him too. Anyways, this dude about a week ago started asking me about one of my friends, wondering if I'm single. No, started asking about me to one of my friends, wondering if I'm single and available. Yeah, from past experience, I have a super triggering concept with older men being creepy to young girls like me. I know I'm not a minor anymore, but at the same time, I'm definitely not a full-fledged on adult either. Yeah, because you're 19. That's teen. Teen is still a kid in my book. One day I was working and he came in to eat, and before he left, he came up to want to hang out that night. Wait, so this guy's in his late 30s and you're 19. So we're talking almost 20 age difference. I felt super uncomfortable and surprised when he asked, and I told him I couldn't since I was watching my niece and I had some things to do. Later on, I started noticing the way he would look at me and occasionally touch my back when passing by me in the restaurant. Although it's not harassment, I do feel, yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's harassment. I do feel like it could be classified as inappropriate advances in the workplace. I felt super anxious and on edge the whole week, and I decided to talk to my managers. Good job. They ended up talking to him, and now he doesn't even speak to me or any of my coworker friends. Is this a mistake? I felt like I just ruined this guy's job for the sole reason of my uncomfortability. He's a nice guy. Anybody, he's not a nice guy. He was a sleaze. First of all, he's married. So he's not supposed to be trying to date anybody, especially on his job. Number two, you're 20 years younger than him. You're a teenager. He's a dad of two, a husband, and on the downstroke to 40. You're not even 20 yet. No, what part of that makes you think he was nice? Little girl, if you don't wise up, I'm not going to go too hard on you because you're only 19, but I'm going to tell you now, stop giving people a fucking pass. When they do inappropriate things like this, that means he's not nice. He was zeroing in on you as prey on your job where you was like stuck there. You couldn't even get away. That's not a nice man. That is a fucking predator. So, there's no way he should have been looking at you as anybody to quote, hang out with or try to get with, as if you're only a 19-year-old kid. He's a grown-ass man, a dad, and a husband. Totally different stages of life. And there's no reason in this world for him to even try to talk to you any other than anything about work. That's where the conversation should have ended. You at least had enough to your manager and to them, because you got more sense than most of the young girls is right up in here, because they just write me. They don't never say anything to their managers, so I find shocking. The people who are in a position to run interference for them and protect them, they don't say anything to them. They don't say anything. They never tell the person to stop. They don't say anything, and they never report it to their managers either. They just suffer. Thank you for doing that. At least that makes me feel like you have some sense. But, you need to lose this thing, this little rainbow thing going on in your head, where you want to assign men who do shit like that to young girls who they think are too naive and young to know better. You stop assigning them the label nice, because they're not. He's anything but. He's a fucker. Okay? And he's just trying to set you up. So luckily, like I said, you escaped out from under it. But in the future, don't stay away from anybody who's married. You talk to them about business. You don't need to get to know them. And you don't need to be a tight team with somebody twice your age. Your tight team is with your peers. He ain't one. He's like your dad. Okay? Understand boundaries and adhere to them on the job. Question number 14. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group. She's white from Toronto. Summer issue, wondering if it's normal for your boyfriend to always be hurting you. Okay. Ooh, these young girls. What the hell is going on with these girls? What's happening here? In what world would you imagine that it's normal for somebody who claims to love you to always be hurting you? But let's see what you got to say. Let me explain a bit. She says, we're 21 now and we've been together for 3 months, but have known each other for a few years. We love each other and have a good relationship. I'm just very sensitive. See, this is an abused person talking. She's already absolving him of responsibility and taking all the blame like she made him do it. In the first paragraph, I'm just very sensitive. He's really strong like most men, and it's the small things like slapping my butt where it leaves a mark for a couple of days, or grabbing my arms where he leaves marks, or doing intimate times. One time he pulled my hair so hard it left a huge egg on my head for over a week. He's very rough, but every man I've been with has always hurt me, and it's been too rough even when I tell him to be gentle. It's a daily thing where I have to take a minute and hold back tears because he hit me too hard or slapped me in the face too hard, lovingly. I've talked to him about it, but he isn't changing. So maybe it's just me being too delicate. I'm really not sure. I'm curious if other women feel this way, or maybe over exaggerating. I just can't stop thinking about if all men are like this or just the ones that I've been with. I think they try to exhibit some of those tendencies, but it depends on the woman. Because see, you might not be as strong as him, but he's going to go to sleep. He's going to go to sleep, and that's when you put some blunt object and you clock him and say, if you ever hurt me again, next time you're going to go to prison, because I'm not going to hold back, and I'm going to report while I have bruises and lumps and stuff on my head. I'm going to call the police, and your ass is going to get carted away. So that would be the first stop. Okay. Since it don't seem like you want to leave him, making excuses, but ideally when he did that, the first thing, you would have packed your shit, changed your number, and disappeared into the sunset. That's how you get rid of somebody who doesn't respect you. You stuck around though, so the behaviors have escalated to the point where now it's happening every day. and you just sit up there taking it. There's no way. I would have had to go borrow somebody's baseball bat, golf club, or something and put in some work. You gonna think you're gonna hit me and grab me and hurt me and yank my hair and shit? Oh, let's see how you feel about it after we go through this routine. And while he sleep, I would commence to beating his ass, beating him, just beating him as hard as I could. I'd get in a good 5 swings before he woke up and realized what was happening. I don't understand how she's dating someone like this. It's like he just has her around for a punching bag. And, the Nook couldn't feel good if listen. I mean, she just doing it just to be fixed. So, this is the kind of thing that makes me think that she was a abused child, and you know what kind of abuse I'm talking about. So this kind of treatment of her feels normal. It's an unfortunate reality with a lot of young girls. And these old fucker ass men are the ones who are creating these monsters in their lives. Question number 15. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group. She's Black from Baytown, Texas. The male in question, same age group. He's also African American. Summary of issue. My boyfriend wants to move in with his mother, and I feel like this will end our relationship. Oh, yeah. So my boyfriend, 24, let's call him, quote, Alex. And I have been together for about 7.5 years. What? And you only in the 22 to 27 age group? Living together for 6, but have known each other for 10 years. He is so sweet, and I know a part of me will always love him. He truly saved life. However, in January, he discussed moving in with his mom by himself. He knows I wouldn't go there. And I expressed my dissatisfaction with that idea since she's a lot to deal with. We kind of just left it at that and haven't talked about it since. But yesterday, I came home after spending the night at my dad's house since I didn't want to drive home. When I got home, I asked him to come lay in bed with me. He kept saying that he loves me more than usual. And I asked why he keeps saying that he loves me a lot. Then he brought up that he wants to move back in with his mom so he can help her pay bills and comfort her, etc. Meanwhile, I'm tired of his mom always manipulating him and asking for money. I've expressed to, quote, Alex, how many times he enables her behavior and that she needs to learn to do things herself. I mean, he found her a new job, a new apartment, and she does struggle with money. I have also paid her bills in the past as well. But a while ago, I told him and her that I'm not going to anymore. Deb, there was a point where I only had a job and was paying my and his bills. And he'd donate plasma and give most of that money to his mom. It was a little exhausting, but you do what you got to do. After a while, she was expecting for him to give her money and even accused him of hiding money from her because no one cares and he's being selfish. I told him after a while that he cannot be putting everything he makes towards her and needs to set boundaries, so he did. But no with her, and I told him that if he does, I do not want to continue the relationship since she's overbearing, and I know our relationship will change drastically. He just assumed I stayed living in the apartment we have now and kept asking why we can't just live separately. But I feel like his mom doesn't really have respect for our relationship and sometimes feel like she's in our relationship. I'm just so tired of her. I'm kind of stuck on what to do. Should I continue this relationship, break up? Am I being too harsh? You should have broke up the first time that his mother started demanding money. First of all, let's rewind here, little girl, because you off on some bullshit that you need to get your mind right. A, you are not his wife. You a girlfriend. So issues he has with his mother, his money, he no job, all that stuff, that's his problem. You should never have swooped in with your checkbook or a dime of your money to help him do anything with his raggedy ass mama. If the bitch starved and was on food stamps on the corner with a can, oh well, don't have shit to do with me because I'm not your wife. She's not my mother-in-law. I don't have to do shit for the bitch. That's Deborah's attitude. If she just like, she would just starve. I mean, she's probably fat anyway. You lose 10 or miss a few meals. It won't kill her. Secondly, you think the problem is her. The problem is your weak, spineless, pussy-ass boyfriend. Personally, I would be happy to get rid of that mama's boy because he's useless. If you just think if you married him, he would be just diverting funds from your house, from you and your kids, to give it to his raggedy-ass mother. No. What you need to do is understand that this relationship has really been over for a long time. He chose his mother the second he told him he wanted to move back in with her after he, quote, set boundaries. That means he weighed the options and he chose his mother over you. That's the part you don't really seem to understand yet. It hasn't sunk in. You still mad thinking that I'm trying to put all the blame on her and she in our relationship. She can't get in your relationship unless he puts her there. Right? Let's be honest here. Let's be real. He put his mother in your relationship because if he didn't go mouthing off telling her stuff, then she couldn't be in it because she wouldn't know nothing, right? So this is all his doing. And him going to go live with her and him going to give her all his money. And he wants to live with his mother versus live with his lady. That ought to tell you something. He's married his girlfriend. It's not you. So pull your lip in, accept the facts of staring you in the face, pack your stuff, and get out of that apartment. Let him and him and his mother could live there. I wouldn't give a fuck, really. You live there by yourself, and nobody can live there. I don't care, but I'm not gonna be here, and I'm not moving with you, and we're not gonna date anymore. So this tears of my life that I just realized I wasted at 27 are now over, and I'm free. It's too long to date somebody anyway. But yeah, girl, you was doing way too much in this situation. Way too much. You're going to break up. Like I said, the part that you haven't accepted is he's choosing his mother over you. What woman wants to be calling herself in a partnership with a man who chooses his mother over his lady? No, you going to fuck that bitch then. That's what you need to do. You do that because I'm done here. Question number 16. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's Caucasian from the UK somewhere. Summary of issue. How do I reject an acquaintance who invited herself to my house this summer? I met, quote, Angela 3 years ago while doing Erasmus. Oh, isn't that's some education program or something. I remember somebody was explaining to me, but I still don't understand how it works. In a different country, Erasmus. We met through a mutual friend since she didn't go to uni and weren't super close because we really have nothing in common. She has zero interest and spends all her time either on TikTok or playing video games. Plus, she's older than me. She's 26. I'm only 22. After I got, we kept it occasionally, but with time, she started contacting me more and more, mainly sending me TikToks and complaining about men. Since she can be very rude, she lost all her friends and told me recently that I'm the only friend that she has left, which is unfortunate for both of us. For her, because I'm not a real friend to her, but I'm only polite. And for me, because that places a huge burden on me to continue interactions that I find both dumb and I have no interest in watching stupid TikTok videos and hearing 2 million versions of men are just trash every single day. So I moved to a third country a year ago, and when I went home for Christmas, she invited herself to my house. I said it was okay, but I had uni work to do trying to finish my 2 masters, and I had to practice the violin because one of my majors is violin performance. But since she has no interest, I had to entertain her all waking hours and didn't manage to do any work while she was at my place. Well, today she was talking about her summer vacation, said, I'll just come visit you again in July. Like it's a fact. I didn't invite her, and she's been saying she'll come again for a while. I don't know when I'm going to go home for the summer. I have 2 music festivals I will be playing at, plus I have to start applying for PhDs, and I have to write a paper that I'm supposed to publish next fall. My best friend got a physics PhD in Italy, and I want to spend a month in the summer there with her. So I have a lot on. I don't want Angela to come, and I don't know what to tell her. I feel really bad for her because she has no one. She's sad, and her life is just going to go to the office and then staring at a screen when she gets home. And I can't endure the shallowness. I has done a sacrifice a week or 2 of my life in the perfect year. Okay, man. She doesn't add any value to my life. I know there's no way to do this and not hurt her feelings, but how do I tell her she can't come? Well, she says, Angela, the other day you said that you were going to come to my house in July. I just want to tell you, no, you're not. And she'll be like, why? I said, because no, I didn't invite you. I have other plans. And she's going to say, oh, and then you're going to be like, yeah, so yeah. That's all you have to do. I don't understand why this is so hard. You should have shut that down as soon as she said it. So she should say, oh, I'm just coming to you and just you'd be like, wait, what did you say? That would have been me because I want to make sure I hear right. Because, sometimes I don't be paying attention and I didn't hear everything. And so I asked for clarification. It's like, wait, what? So she could repeat it. And then this time I'm going to be all ears. I'm going to be tuned in instead of doing what I'm usually doing, thinking about 55 million other things. And so I would have tuned and said, well, did I invite you? And she would say, well, no. And they would say, well, then you're not coming. Because when I have people guests at my house, they come with an invitation. I didn't invite you. I have other plans. because you'll be on your own for your summer vacation. And she would have been like, oh, when I thought I was going to come with you, I'm like, I don't know what gave you that idea. I invited you last year, but I never said you could come again. I never said that. And then she would be like, oh, well, what are you going to do? That's not your business. I said, I have other plans. That shit's going to be good enough. And then she would be like, oh, and then she'd be sitting aside looking sad and say, oh no, my 2-week vacation I'm going to be spending looking TikToks. But she has that option. She could get in a car, rent a car, get on a boat, get on a train and go somewhere. I was going on plenty of vacations by myself. Because I said, like, my friends were like club buddies, my road dogs. And most of them really weren't into exploring the world. They just want to rip and run it outside of nightclubs. And it's fine for that, that segment of my life. But when I got ready to do other things, I had to either do it by myself or, mainly just do it by myself and then come back and tell them and show them my pictures. That's how that happened. I'm just saying. Yeah, she wouldn't be, Angela would not be having that. Angela would not be coming to my house. So let's move on to question number 17. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Springdale, Arizona. The male in question is also 22 to 27. Some FWB has started acting coupley, she says. The FWB must be catching feels. I am 22, and I have been friends with this guy who's 25 for over a year, but things have slowly escalated over these past couple of months. He's opened up to me before and said he thinks he has commitment issues. So I've always been under the impression that we were just FWBs, so we've only been hanging out just to take care of business, and we weren't really physical unless it was nook involved. We got into an argument a couple of weeks ago due to me having feelings and not wanting to be strung along, and I went no contact until he reached out to me. He told me he doesn't like letting me down and that he wanted to start seeing each other again. Here's where the confusion starts. He took me to the movies this weekend and was super affectionate in a non-sexual way during it, and even turned around and gave me a forehead kiss. And in general, he was just being more romantic than usual. And he got me so confused because he already knows I want a relationship with him. I don't know if I should talk to him about it or just let it ride. No, you're supposed to ask him, what is all of this? Why you guys, you sleep with a dude, but you too afraid to open your damn mouth and ask him questions and say stuff? How does that work? You young girls, I just don't understand how the fuck you be running your lives, because it's all kinds of ass backwards. You gonna be laid up in the bed with this fool and stuff, but you can't talk to him. She say Angela. Yeah. Not her, she had in quotes. I don't really understand what's going on with you. What I would have to tell, with him, he's doing all this stuff. So at the end of the evening, I said, okay, well, that's very nice. And, it was nice to see you and everything. But is this are you trying to send me a message? What you trying to say? Because I don't understand sign language. I need words. And then he would be like, he would either spill the beans or he would say, oh, no, I just missed you or something, whatever. So you could rein in your expectations and all this confusion. There's no reason as well why you shouldn't have asked him what all this was. What was he thinking? What was he doing when it was happening? Open your damn mouth. Stop being a fucking coward. Ooh, Lord, you girls. I just how you live your life like this. Just all in the quiet, in the shadows, in the dark, hiding and fearful and cowardly, and just what you afraid of. But it can't be no worse than what you already went through, which was you didn't talk to him. That's the worst that could happen. And you've already experienced that. So what are you afraid of? Ooh, Lordy. Question number 18. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group. She's mixed race from Canton, Ohio. And they're talking about another person who is 18 to 21 as well. Summary of issue. How do you recommend I make a guy? Candace must have copied and pasted. How do you recommend I make a guy more than twice my age understand that you are not interested? This is kind of dumb, but I am sick and tired, and the guy just won't leave me alone. I'm 18 and going to university. I joined a Discord group for one of my classes, and this guy that's the group moderator started to speak to me privately without knowing my identity. He just assumed I was a female. Then one day he asked who I was and where I was sitting, and he said he was in the front and gave me some identification so I could recognize him. I told him who I was, and he asked me if I was a pretty girl. According to his description, I was who he was asking about, but I didn't confirm it. I don't consider myself pretty. I went to class the week after, and I saw that it was an old guy. And I didn't think much of it and decided I don't want to speak to him anymore, so I deleted my account. But days prior, I had told him I joined the server with 2 different accounts. So he tried to message me on my deleted account, so I was not answering. So then he messaged me on my other account. Weeks went by, but 2 days ago, he sent me a new friend request. I somehow found out that he is 42 years old, and I am absolutely not interested. And she put that in caps. You have to keep in mind that I have a baby face, and any old dude that's interested in me just gives me extreme bad vibes because I feel like they're some kind of pedophile. Anyways, please help me. I really don't know how to make him understand that I'm absolutely not interested. Like, he is old. He looks like he's the age of my father. I don't know why he's even not feeling ashamed of himself. I'm not interested in people older than me. Even back when I wasn't aware of his age, he was giving me weird vibes. He was saying some dumb stuff like, quote, "You are a distraction," end quote, or quote, "I looked at you from the side of my eyes," like very weird, dumb stuff like that. He just disgusts me. I told my mom, and she said to say something because right now he might think I'm playing hard to get. But the only reason why I didn't do anything yet is because I'm scared. Okay, so she's going on and on about this. My next class is Tuesday, so I have to find something before then because if he ends up speaking to me, I feel like I'm going to die from anxiety. It's like she should have a brain to see that there's a big age gap. Well, of course he sees that there's a big age gap, but is that going to stop him from trying to tap it? And like you said, if you have a baby face and you're only 18, and even younger than that, which makes that, for somebody who's weird like him, even better. So what you have to do is stop running scared. And you have to tell him, are you trying to say that you're interested in me, like dating or something? Do you want to call out? You want to be direct. Stop fucking, look at the video I did on Comfortable. Here's an excerpt from a video that was basically a rant, but I'm going to do another video, so everybody calm down. I just found that because I was just way too busy. I was doing all those shorts and stuff and got distracted, and so I didn't have time to do the video that I said I was going to do, so I put up that excerpt. But talk about how women are fucking cowards, and you're always using that word uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. He makes me uncomfortable. That don't mean shit. Use your big girl words and name the behavior. But the video is better. I'm just giving you a summary of it. So in a situation like this, where he's, making these little comments and stuff, you're in direction. What are you trying to say here? What are you trying to hint at? Because I don't get hints. You need to be direct. So then he would say it because he would feel emboldened because you asked him. He said, well, I think you're beautiful and this and that. Well, I think you're old. You're old as dirt. You're old as my daddy. And I have, in case she's in the back of your mind somewhere, I have absolutely zero interest in you as a man. Barely any interest in you as a Discord moderator, but definitely nothing to do with you. I want nothing to do with you as a man. And if you continue to harass me, then we'll have to get the police involved. So I'll get my parents and the police involved. So you need to stop. Now that's what you say to him. It'll be your parents, the school, and the police. Because you might make it very clear that this is the end of his little fantasy trick bag thing he's trying to work on. But you have to practice. You go through what I said so that by when Tuesday comes and you see him in class next week, then the words will just flow out of your mouth. But one thing you need to learn now as a young woman, you cannot run scared from men. You cannot run scared. You have to speak up. They depend on these predatory types depend on you to run scared because that excites them. It's like a lion stalking prey. If the turn around and beat the lion's ass, well, the lion would be like, wait, whoa, what's going on here? And they would stop. They might go stalk something else, but they wouldn't stalk that prey, right? Because that prey fought back. But no, that's not what most girls do. You guys run little damn rabbits. And so the guys feel powerful. It makes them feel powerful, like, oh, I got her, I can just treat her any kind of way. She's not going to do anything. I'm just going to do what I want to her. That's what they start thinking because you don't speak up. You don't say nothing. You don't even say no or stop. You don't do anything. Nothing. What the fuck are you so fucking afraid of all the goddamn time? I've never seen so many women scared all the time. Yeah, but it's like once you outside of being a kid, or unless somebody like sneaks up on you, breaks in your apartment or something like that, then you're not prey. Some of these things, you just a willing participant in the bullshit because you don't put up any boundaries. You don't say no, you don't say stop, you don't, warn them, you don't get the police involved, you don't tell your managers, you don't do anything to help yourself. So to me, if you don't do anything, even though you realize it's a problem, you take no action, you're setting yourself to be a willing participant in the bullshit and the fuckery. That's what that means. So if you want to do now, it's one thing, like I said, if you get a restraining order, you went to police, you filed charges, you did all the stuff, and they persisted, well, then that's when you need to go get you a gun and then take care of your business. But you've tried stuff, you've actually done things. You've put some action behind your words. So that's not a willing victim there. That's somebody who's escalating the levels that she's involved to protect herself until she has to go to the top, which is popping a cap in his ass. But you cannot be afraid of men, ladies. If the fear, you running scared like that, that just makes them feel like they just got you. I wish I knew where you went to school. If it was anywhere near me, I'd be like, meet me outside so I can go in your class with you and tell this fool something. I'll play like I'm your mother. You gonna leave my daughter alone. Because I tell you what, if she come home and tell me anything else, you're not gonna have to worry about the police. You're gonna have to worry about me. Because motherfucker, I will find you and I will end you. So you leave my child the fuck alone with your old, dirty, nasty ass. And it would probably know me would say it real loud so everybody in the class could hear it, including the professor. Because that's how I roll. Question number 19, male, 28 to 34. He's Caucasian from Auburn, Washington. Summary of issue. My girlfriend wants to stay close with her ex. Okay. So he going on and on about all of that and about the length of time and this. Here's something that's always stuck in there. I'm skipping some of this for a few reasons. Number one, she did not want to mention our relationship to her ex to protect his feelings. Apparently he knows now, though. There have been times when I found them messaging months after thinking they had stopped. I'm generally always kept separate from this. Number three, some of her ex will call at night even when we're together. And number four, I have no doubt that this person is still hopeful of a relationship because they've never moved on. Personally, I have strong values about respecting my partner and giving a clean slate. I have at times cut people out to let my partner read messages to help put her at ease. I have expressed to my partner that having an ex in our lives takes away from the feeling of being unique, starting fresh, or just generally feeling safe. I also expressed that the secrecy has eaten away at me and given me little self-confidence. My partner firmly believes that maintaining a friendship with her ex is important for her own freedom and to be a nice person to him. And to an extent, I understand and agree, but I can't help but take everything very personally and let it eat me alive. It feels wrong to ruin a potentially good relationship over this, but I feel genuinely stuck. I also feel concerned for the big picture about being able to rely on a partner in time of need, especially when I would and have given anything to her. What advice would you have for me? Break it up, because you are the third wheel in their relationship. You keep fighting it, but the evidence is right there in your face. She didn't want to even tell dude that she was dating you. Why? Because you thinking it's him chasing after her, and that he wants to be the one to get back together. She wants it as much as he does. Because otherwise she would have closed that door. She would have blocked him. She would have made sure he changed her number. She would have done anything to close that door and keep him out of her life, but that's not what she did. She talks to him all the time. She texts him late at night. You sitting right there. She's jaw-jacking with him. You're the third wheel in their relationship. So deuce out gracefully. Don't wait until you find them in bed together or something else like that, where it really hurts you. Have enough self-respect that you read the handwriting on the wall. Like I was saying the other night, most men don't seem to be able to read the room. Read the room here. They're a couple, a wannabe, and you are just something she's around just to keep her busy and keep her company while she waits on dude to get himself together. Because since she doesn't see him, he might be in jail. You don't know what's going on with dude because they have cell phones now. So you don't really know what's going on with him. But whatever it is, she's waiting for him. She's waiting for him for something. and you're the placeholder. So were me, I recognizing that this is a situation that's not really going to provide me with any kind of emotion, like you identify, any emotional safety, no framework of trust and honesty because you're hiding too much stuff from you, then you know that this is not the relationship for you. So you do sound. It feels wrong to ruin a potentially good relationship. Potentially good? You sound stupid. It's nothing about this that's potentially good. It's going to get potentially worse until they just throw the dirt in your face because you just acting stupid. Like you have no self-pride, no self-esteem, no confidence. Like this is the only bitch in the world. And you just got to grovel at her feet while she plays with this dude right in your face and you still going to stay with her. What's wrong with you? Have you no testosterone in your nuts at all? You have no spine, no backbone, no pride. Please, I would have told this bitch, you know what, get all your shit out of my apartment and go and talk with that motherfucker and forever. Just because this shit here is over. It would have been me, and I'm a woman, and I'm not going to take any stuff like this. So I don't understand what you're doing, sir. Whew, I'm tired. Wait a minute. I need some wine. Question number 20. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Pensacola, Florida. Summary of issue. I was a sugar baby in college. Should I tell my now boyfriend 7 years later? I was a sugar baby in college when I was 20. It was a traumatic experience and haunts me to this day. I met up with one man 1 week in a month for 5 months before breaking it off. We had eggplant. He gave me money and brought me a ton of stuff. When I ended things, he was not happy. He threatened to expose me to my friends and family. Since I kept it a secret from all but one friend. To this day, only that one friend knows. He reached out to me about a year ago via text, letting me know he still has my number and would like to reconnect. I didn't respond. Why did you not change your number after all of that? You gonna let somebody from a period of time like that where some wild, weird, freaky nonsense went on, and you gonna keep the same phone number? Are you out of your goddamn mind? It is hands down the biggest mistake I've ever made. Why is it that these people are so resistant to changing their number? You leave all that bullshit behind you when you change your number. You don't change your number. You keep the door open for the bullshit to follow you into your new, shiny, brand new, and wonderful life. I know when I got married, everything changed because people still had pagers then. We had Sky pagers, which was the big whoop-de-doo thing until later in the 90s when cell phones, became more common. But at first, everybody had Sky pagers. And I made him get a new one. You're going to get a new number, and I'm going to get a new number, too. And that's the way we did that. He's like, why? I said, because that's what you're going to do. And I guess the look on my face was like, or else. And so he was like, oh, okay. So it was fine. Yeah. But yeah, that's how you do when you want to leave bullshit in the past. You want to close the door and brick that wall up so they can't find you. And remember, this was the pre-social media days. So all this Facebook and AOL was just, really coming into its own and stuff. But we were already married by then. So, that was later stuff. But yeah, it's hard to believe all these years. So anyway, she says it's the biggest mistake she made. The money was nice, but I wasn't in desperate need. I'm sure there was some self-esteem or deeper issues at play, but I can't even tap into them. I need to be with a therapist. And I've been dating this boyfriend for 2 years. We live together, moving towards engagement. Do I disclose this to him? I know there's a gray area with telling someone your entire past and keeping something to yourself. He's very conservative. It would not take this well. I don't know what would happen if he found out. It's a semi-concern this man is still harboring negative feelings after all this time. It may expose me down the road. Is this something I take to the grave and forget about? Or is this something a future husband needs to know about? No, he don't never need to know that. What the fuck are you? You must need another job, a hobby, or something, because you sit around thinking of dumb shit to do to sabotage your life. That was 7 years ago. That was before you ever even met him. Why would you want to tell him that? Change your number tomorrow. Okay, go and find a hammer and break that phone, right? Break that phone or put it in the street and let cars run over it. And say, oh my God, I dropped my phone when I was crossing the street and it got hit by some cars. I got to get a new phone. I guess I'll just get a new number too. And that's how you're going to play that. And then you're going to let that dust mite idiot And everybody who you knew who used to call you on that number, just go with that phone into the gutter of the whatever street you lay the phone on. That's what you're gonna do. And make sure, like I said, you smash it yourself, but then you lay it somewhere so it can get really smashed by like a bus or something. And then you're going to keep your fucking mouth closed for the rest of your life. You don't know shit. Even if he does find out, say, wait a minute, that's a misrepresentation. I did date an older guy for a little bit, but someone's saying it's like that. That's not how it was. Who's going to know if you only told one person? And you could I tell her that you lied, you made it up, you read it in a Penthouse magazine or some shit. I don't know. I would never own up to that shit. I would die and nobody would know but me. But you did good to tell one person. I wouldn't have told anybody. It's because of my business. Yeah, I don't understand what the goal is here. Why you think that would be a benefit to your relationship? What the fuck do you want to tell them that shit for? Slap yourself and snap out of this stupid state you're in. Oh my God, I swear, some women they just have this thing where they just want to just destroy their lives. They just want to do it. They be looking, it's just itching to do it. It was before you met him. It's not his business. Okay, just do it that way. It doesn't matter. Anything that happened in your life before you met him is irrelevant to your relationship that you have right now. Okay, question 21. She's 22 to 27, Caucasian from Boston. Some of issues. Should I be having, quote, the talk with the person I'm currently seeing? What are the things I should be considering? I'm 26. I've been seeing this 24-year-old guy for 2 months. Nope. You're not going to have no talk. You're not going to have a talk. You're not even going to really be dating him seriously because A, he's only 24. And look, and then you both still in school. What the fuck is what kind of talk you think you're going to have with a 24-year-old? Are you out of your mind? Why are you at 26 dating somebody 24? You're supposed to date men older than you, not younger at your age. They're too immature. We're both still in school. However, our timelines and career paths also differ as I'm set to graduate this May and begin my professional journey while he's going to be done in December and currently job hunting all over the U.S. and his home country. So he may not even be in the United States anymore. We had discussions about our future as a couple, but about all of this kind of stuff after 2 months. Number one, he doesn't seem to be keen on the idea of a long-distance relationship, which could be problematic if he lands a job in a faraway location while I pursue my career in this area. Number two, even though we've had similar long-term goals, he's been quite casual in his approach to our relationship, and I'm planning on having, quote, the talk soon to define our status. I'm in a bit of a dilemma here because I have strong feelings for him, but I don't want to get hurt if things don't work out between us. So I would greatly appreciate any advice on what I should consider during our upcoming conversation and whether it's worth continuing to invest my time and energy into this relationship. No, it's not. It never was in the first place. Just look at it as a fun time. He's going to go off to some foreign country. You might end up getting another job in another state or somewhere after you graduate too, because you never know who's going to make you an offer. And even if it's a company that has branches all over, you never know where the opening is going to be. This is a bad time to be getting into a relationship when you're about to graduate college. It's the last thing you should have been doing, especially with a guy who's younger than you and talking about going to a foreign country. There's nothing about this situation that makes a lick of sense. I don't know what the fuck you're thinking. You're not going to have the talk with him. You're just going to enjoy it while you enjoy it. And then when you graduate, you're going to look for your job. And then when you get your job and wherever you get it from, you're going to go there and you're going to forget all about his ass. And you're not going to have a long distance relationship with somebody you've only dated for 2 months. Like he's the only dick in the world. Question number 22. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's from Florida. She's African American. The male is 28 to 34 age group. He's also African American. The summary of issue is cheating ever okay? Hey, Ms. Deb, this doesn't pertain to my life at all, but I just wanted to know your perspective. I was watching a show and noticed how the couple was arguing frequently. The majority of the issues were financial, along with their son selling drugs. And no intimacy. The husband was going to another woman's house making repairs, and his wife was noticing small things, such as finding a popcorn magazine and seeing how he was interacting with other women. He eventually had nook with the woman he was making repairs with and stepped out on his marriage. I was having a conversation with the man I'm dating, sharing different perspectives. Is it right for a man who made a lifelong commitment with a woman to step out on her solely because he feels he, quote, tried enough with arguing? He doesn't feel appreciated and isn't receiving intimacy from his wife. He tried using those as confirmation that it's okay to step out. I was saying, so in the reverse, it's okay for the wife to meet a man and receive nook and other things from a man that isn't her husband. He didn't have an answer. He just kept saying that she should have provided the cookie and nah, I'd divorce her. He wasn't able to give her what she wanted, which was portrayed as romance, being able to have nice clothes, a nice house, going on dates, etc. I just keep hearing in your voice, if an individual isn't giving you the type of relationship that you want, you walk away. Exactly. But this is marriage. I don't give a fuck. When do you give up or walk away when having frequent arguments? Is this based on the individual when they've had enough, or how simple the relationship could potentially be? Just curious on your thoughts. I say this. You married, right? You do want to give it some time. You don't want to, like, if you just single, like me, you do one thing, I'm gone. We're not going to have a conversation about it. We're not going to therapy about it. We're not talking to the pastor about it. We're not going to converse about it because I done already told you. It's just, I'm just out. That's it. I don't like to repeat myself. But you married, you got a couple of kids, you got a home, you got all stuff. So, there should be an opportunity for the two of you to sit down and just try to figure out what's going on, where things make a left turn. Because you've invested with each other enough to be married, right? So, there should be some opportunity for a conversation and try to uncover if this can be worked out or not. Whereas, like I said, if you're single, you don't have to just have a conversation because you don't give a fuck. You just leave and start over again with somebody else. But, that's what you should do. However, should you stay if you're miserable? No. But does that mean that you should cheat? No. What it means is if you try to talk to your spouse about it, the spouse is either unwilling to talk or just wants to blame it on you and not putting effort into trying to, make things better between the two of you, then that's when you say, okay, well, it sounds like it's time for us to get a divorce, and you go and find your attorney and start making the magic happen. But that's it. I'm not going to argue with you over and over. I don't do that. We have a disagreement. You better sit down and talk about it like you got some goddamn sense. We're not going to argue. Because if I have to get to the point where I'm cussing you out, it's over. The relationship, you can bet that shit's over. But yeah, that's, I'm not going to change my position. I'm just going to say that, you have a little bit more invested when you do take marital vows, although judging by these modern marriages, that's not even saying too much. But just just pretend that the couple really were committed to each other. Then they should try to come, have a conversation and work that out. If that doesn't work, and like I said, one person is not really into the conversation or really trying to do anything to improve it, they would rather just change partners, then you just go along with that. You can't hold a marriage together by yourself. And if the person's obviously not interested in giving you what you need to be happy, why would you stay? Right? He's not interested in that. He went somewhere else talking about, well, she should, he wasn't giving her the romance and stuff that she would need to want to sleep with him. But he's mad because she didn't sleep with him. See, that's the part, the conundrum that men don't get. You're not doing the things and talking to your wife in a way that would make her feel that kind of romantic excitement about you that would make her want to drop them drawers. But you mad because she don't drop the drawers, and so you go to somebody else like that's going to make your marriage better. So stupid. And then they be all the ones, number one, shocked online, talking about, oh my God, I said I was sorry. I don't understand why she didn't, she was holding the cookie from ransom. No, you just didn't do anything to show her that you appreciated and loved and respected her. You weren't romantic. You didn't even say nice things to her. You didn't do shit. And then you just wanted everything to still come the same from her. And she's not connected to you emotionally. Her heart's not connected to you anymore. You're not putting forth any energy to make her feel warm and loving and excited about being snuggled up with you. Men who connect with their woman's heart be fighting the women off of them. But if your wife is turning her back to you, that means you're doing something wrong. You're not treating her well, dude. So that's the fact that you're not getting no nook. That's your fault. Do something, make a better relationship. And then you get all the nook you could possibly handle. Probably more than you can handle. You'd be like, baby, wait, I just need some sleep. Let a brother have a night off. I just need a rest tonight. No, that's what your life would be like if you was handling yourself right with your woman in your relationship. But the fact that she's not wanting to sleep with you, that means you're doing something hella wrong. And then you dipping out and going to another woman to think that's going to solve the problem. You're destroying your woman and your marriage. And you would have did that with your selfishness. So that's my response. You know, they just don't get it. They just don't fucking get it. They want to not do anything, not put forth any effort, but think they're going to get all the benefits. It don't work like that. It does not. Women have options these days. If you're not going to give her what she needs, she's not going to sleep with you, and you continue not giving her what she needs, she's going to file for divorce. Then you can go over there and cheat with as much as you want to. You won't even have to cheat because you'll be single. Question 23. This young lady's 28 to 34 from Greensboro, North Carolina. And she says, my boyfriend went through my phone and read all of my chats. My boyfriend over a year went through my phone while I was asleep and went through all my social media apps, read all my chats. He confessed this to me the next day. Then he said he did it because he was afraid I was cheating on him because I was working long hours lately and didn't have as much free time for him as I usually do. Obviously, I wasn't cheating. This is honestly a pretty big deal for me. He violated my trust and privacy. We are not kids either, Deb. I'm 32 and he's 36 years old. What the fuck? I also feel very hurt about his lack of trust from his side. I don't know how to proceed from here. I had a very controlling relationship in the past, and this kind of behavior is very triggering. But I also do love this man, and I don't want to throw everything away because I might be overreacting due to trauma. He tried to explain his behavior with his insecurities. This is something I can generally understand, but that's an explanation, not an excuse. I guess my question is, how does one deal with such an insecure partner? I appreciate all your advice. I don't deal with insecure men because insecure men are dangerous. Let me tell you, first it starts with this snooping stuff, right? Then he gonna want to start following you, stalking you, listening on your phone calls and stuff. Then he's gonna start, going in your mail, looking at all your emails, accusing you of stuff that you didn't do. You're gonna start walking on eggshells trying to over-explain yourself. Then they start grabbing you. Then they start pushing you and shoving you. And then the hitting starts. Insecure men are dangerous men. My suggestion would be to tell him, you know what? I'm glad you've exposed yourself. This was a good relationship, but now that you've exposed this level of insecurity, you need to get some therapy because you can't be in a relationship with me. I refuse to be with a person who's going to be that suspicious of me and who needs that much reinforcing. It's just anticlimactic for me. It doesn't turn me on. It makes me disgusted, as a matter of fact. So there's no point in us continuing this relationship. I'm done here, sir. That would be me. Can't do it. Oh my God. Number 24. This is a young lady, 22 to 27 from St. Paul, Minnesota. The guy in question is also 22 to 27. And she says, my boyfriend has a bad comb over and he won't get rid of it. Well, they white with a comb over. My boyfriend's hair started receding when he was super young. He's only 26 now. I've known him for almost 4 years, together for 3. And he's still the handsomest man in the world to me. He always had a bit of a comb over at first, but now it's much worse. His hair is really long on one side. Can you imagine? So it's really long on this side. And then he swoops it over the top of his head and sprays and gels it down. And then he uses a skin paint product to fill in the gaps where you would see bare skin. I love him dearly and I want him to do what works for him. But as selfish as this is, it's hard for me when we're out in public, when we get stared at and laughed at and comments are made. I've even spotted people taking photos. It's really a very intense and bizarre hairstyle that grabs people's attention. And you go in public with him? I'm sorry, I could not do that. We've been together for 3 years and I've never touched his hair. I can't bear to tell him, but it looks really bad. We've talked about it, but I never told him it looks bad. If anything, I try to tell him it looks good in the meantime to boost his confidence because I know he struggles with his appearance. But you're lying to him, though. You're setting him up. You think you're being nice, but what you're doing is setting him up to look like a fool because you're not telling him the truth. Stop it. He says he wants to accept his truth and eventually go totally bald, but he isn't ready yet, and he doesn't want to get a transplant. I'm stuck because we've been together for 3 years. You've mentioned that 4 times already. And nothing has changed. Okay, go on. He's never let me see the bald area. When he stays over, he sleeps upright and will go home in the morning to wash and restyle his hair and then come back to my house to hang out for the day. I worry when we're out together that someone will take it too far, throw a drink in his head, or try to mess his hair up. I worry about walking past groups of men outside of bars and clubs when I should feel safe walking with my boyfriend because I don't know if they'll start on him or if they'll start on me. When we talk to people in public, they don't look at him in the eye, they just stare at his head. It's so painful for me to watch. Yes, I know how judged he must feel. I don't want him to feel that way. As much as it's awkward for me, my main priority is that I just want him to feel confident. Even some of our own friends and family have made comments to me behind his back, and I have to act like it doesn't hurt, but it's tiring. I love him so much, but I'm tired of being on the receiving end of a lot of piss talking because of it. Okay, then she goes on and blah, blah, blah. She wants him to get rid of it. I'm so tired. As much as I sympathize with him, I know this has nothing to do with me, and I'd love him as he's without fear of judgment. I'm just so tired. I don't know what to do, to be honest. But you have to, nice that you would use that word honest. What you need to do is be honest with dude and tell him, oh, my shoulder's killing me. And tell him, I never wanted to say this before, but you look fucking ridiculous with that comb over that you wearing. Shave that shit off. You look like a maniac. I'm tired of going out in public with you and people laughing at you behind your back. Do you know what that does to me? To feel like I need to protect you, but you just putting yourself in a situation where you making yourself get attacked because you walk up and down the street looking like an idiot. You don't have any hair on the top of your head. Let that shit on the side go. Looking like bozo and shit. That doesn't make any damn sense. Let's shave the rest of your head and let's just go on with life here. Stop this. You can't even sleep right because you're sitting up there trying to pretend like you have to go home and style that hot mess that's up on your head. I just like, I told you, I don't have that filter. I just would have been looking at him and like, you look stupid, right? You over there trying to camouflage some bald, like nobody don't know you don't have no hair. Everybody knows you don't have no hair. And what you're doing is drawing attention to it. So now people up there taking pictures of you and shit and putting it on TikTok and Instagram, like talking about this man's hair. Look how much of a fool he looks like. You're embarrassing both of us. Shave that shit off. When he sleeps, just shave it off. Shit, he'll agree. Get over it. I just couldn't do it. I hate those comb overs. I remember this guy I used to work. He had one and he would put it like, it's black and you used to call the wrap, where you wrap your hair around and you tie it with a headscarf and then you sleep like that. And you get up, it's like you got a little, swing to it or something. He was the original wrap wearer because he wrapped that shit around his head like a turban. And that's how he had his hair. It was super long and he would just wrap it around and use some gel or something. I mean, something was up there to make it stay down. And then that's what he did. I thought it was amazing. It just looked a hot mess. But, he's only looking at it from the front. So he could only see what it looked like in the front. He didn't see, the wrappage. Everybody else seeing the wrappage up the top of his head. That shit looked a hot mess. Every time he went by in the hallway, I would be rolling. Yeah, I was at a law firm I worked at. I was like, this dude don't even know. And I know when he went to court, I know everybody was laughing at him. He was a great attorney, though, but he just looked stupid. He just looked crazy. Just like, let it go. Okay, you don't have no hair, let it go. I'm telling y'all, it was crazy. I never seen no shit like that. Okay, that's final question of this crazy show. Summary of issue. What should I do? How bad is this? She's young, 22 to 27 from Brooklyn. I'm 25 and I started talking and flirting with 2 different guys. Well, it turns out they're friends, but I didn't know that. And of course, they told each other about the situation. But I am single. I didn't go on dates with either one of them. And there's been no physical contact with either. Only chats for the duration of 1 month or so. I'm not excusing this behavior, but my plan was initially I would talk to a few guys, then I would ultimately choose one of them. Guy number 1, 25, is the one who brought up that I messaged and flirted with his friend. Guy number 2 is a 27-year-old, and he was the one who stopped responding and informed guy number 1 that I had messaged him again. Mind you, I didn't talk much to guy number 2. We only interacted twice. There's an issue because I told guy number one, I don't message guys first or reach out to them, but I was the one who messaged his friend, guy number two. I didn't lie when I said I don't message guys first. I only messaged guy number two since it was a special situation where I liked him and this doesn't normally happen. Anyway, guy number one now most likely thinks I'm a HOE and wasn't happy about this at all as expected, but he passed it out as just teasing. I don't even know what made them bring me up in their discussions. If you want to insult me, Deb, in your response, feel free. I have already thought the worst about myself since this happened. Is there any way to fix this mess? I feel so embarrassed and I regret it so much. No, you don't regret it. Let me tell you about something. Lift your head. Lift your head and stop this. First of all, you were talking on the phone or in whatever way you're texting, whatever. You didn't meet them. You didn't go out with them. You didn't sleep with them. You didn't hold their hand. You didn't kiss them. You have no obligation to be solely invested in either one of them clowns. And that's what you should have reminded them. I'm not nobody's woman. I don't owe you motherfuckers shit. See, that's what you should have said and shut this down. So they're sitting up there trying to pretend like they got all these rights and stuff to you for somebody they talk to on the phone. You supposed to remind them, I'm single, motherfucker, so are you. At least that's the way you portray yourself. But I don't owe you shit. I don't have to. I could talk to 900 niggas if I want to. Ain't shit you could do about it. That's what you were supposed to tell them. It's like what I do with my time on my phone is not your concern, sir. You need to get you some business and stay the fuck up out of mine. And what you doing is being such a little gossipy bitch that you tell your guy friends and y'all compare notes and shit like women. I'm glad I didn't fuck with either one of you because you're too much of a bitch, both of you. That's what they would have got from me. I never heard of any men acting like this. See, remember I was saying that earlier on the top of the show, how these modern dudes are just too emotional? They act like girls. I'm telling you, they like the girls from my era, you know, always in their feelings and imagining fantasies and romance and stuff. This something flipped. And these dudes, these new dudes, are more emotional and more girly than girls have ever been. They have too many emotions, just all jealous and insecure and grubby and just stupid. Oh my God, it's like, where has masculinity gone? And then the ones that, you know, they can't be good, they're not good at manhood, so now they decide they want to be trans, so they're going to try to be a girl. No, motherfucker, that's not going to work for you either. Stay in your camp and just figure it out. But it just amazes me. I mean, who does that and calls himself a man? They over there throwing little bitch fits because the girl that they were, quote, talking to was talking to somebody else, like they have staked a claim on her. And they, you know, well, she was mine. And she's talking to you too. I don't like her talking to you too. You know, no, we're not a couple. And no, I've never even laid eyes on her. I don't even know what she really looks like other than just what I saw in the picture. But I don't care. She's mine. I staked a claim. I have feelings. So anyway, through all my antics, I hope you understand what I'm saying here. Number one, you single. You do what the fuck you want to do with whoever you want to do it with. Number two, them was two little bitches. Block both of them and go on with your life. Number three, don't ever feel bad about the decisions that you make for yourself that are in your own best interest. You don't owe any motherfucker an apology. You don't owe them I'm sorry. And you definitely don't owe them you're feeling bad about yourself. Lift your head up. You didn't do anything wrong. They're trying to make you feel like you did because, of course, they want to keep a woman only fixed on them. That's the game that men like to run. They want to see 55 women, but they want you to only see them. So they know that you'll be sitting there waiting for them when he should decide to maybe possibly consider thinking about rolling through to tap it. You'll be there waiting for him anxiously because you're not seeing nobody else. When you know he knows that you're doing that, plus you know he even knows the do, so he knows it's true, they get all in their feelings because they lose control. So you continue to do that. You are dating the way that I say women should date. You investigate many possibilities before you decide on one. You can't pick well if you don't investigate many options. You settle if you only take the first dude that comes along. That's not choosing, that's settling. So you don't have to worry about me talking bad about you. Instead, I want you to talk good about yourself because you did it right. The only thing you did wrong was feeling bad about it after they found out. You're supposed to laugh and say, well, what the fuck you think? I'm not your woman. I'll do what the fuck I want to, you little bitch. Sitting up there complaining and shit because I'm talking to somebody else. You nigga, you act like somebody owes you something. I mean, and then it would have went on from there. So he would have never got to say shit. Then let me hit this block button right quick. You know what I mean? These dudes be tripping big time. So anyway, that is this wacky show for today. I think what we're going to do on Friday, you guys ready to have another girls' night out? You guys ready to have another girls' night out? On the weekend, I'm going to work on getting up my merch. Finally, I'm going to finally do a little merch store. We're going to start with T-shirts. I'll probably have about 10 options. So you pick one, you're going to pick your shirt color, and then you can order it. And they're going to all be Debsterism sayings, things that I have said in the past or not too distant past, like in the long past. I have some from years ago. And I'm going to create some designs for the shirts. And hopefully they'll be cute enough that you guys will be interested. So that's what we're going to do. But Friday night, you guys want to do a girls' night? Okay. Well, I'll put the show up tomorrow then. And that's what we'll be back here on Friday evening. And as we wind down through the months, because we got a couple months to go before the DNN starts. So, if you guys find some people have been sending in some stuff. If you find something online that looks interesting and you want to see, submit it for DNN, just send it to me via email to survivingdating@gmail.com and make the subject line DNN or Dusty News. Either one is going to go to the same folder. Because, when we start the show, we start the series off, I need, 40 or so slides to start it off. So, it's good that you guys are submitting stuff ahead this time. So we don't have to have a show with like 10 slides in it. We can have a full show soon as from out the gate. So that's it. That's all. And I'll see you guys then on Friday night. Be here 6:00 sharp, the Pacific, or 9 Eastern, and bring your drink because it's going to get fun and wild like we always do it. See you then.